Cowabunga buddies. Hey, it's Concert Buddy. So this video is a continuation of my new video series, Record Store Road Trip. This is the second video where I went to Indianapolis, Indiana. And my North Star was a record store I've been wanting to go for years called Luna Records. So coming up after the break, I'm going to show you what I found at Luna and share my experience of record shopping in Indianapolis. Cue that lever. I'll see you in a second. All right, buddies, welcome back. So the next stop on the Record Store Road Trip World Tour is Indianapolis, Indiana. From me, Indianapolis is about 4 hours, give or take, depends which way you go. So it's not super far, but it's not super close. And so, as I said in the video before, where I went to Springfield, Illinois is about an hour and a half. So I kind of knocked both these birds out in one stone, went to Springfield and then Indianapolis. And then I kind of assessed, do I need to stay overnight in Indianapolis? I mean, I had illusions of grandeur. I thought, I can go to Indianapolis and then maybe I'll drive to Ohio and visit my buddies at Plaid Room, stay there overnight and then come back the next day. Well, getting older, folks, and the stamina is not what it used to be. Plus, it's a lot of driving. And even on the drive to Indy, I had a big breakfast in Springfield, and it was starting to wear on me. I'm like, man, I'm probably gonna have to crash, get a hotel in Indy for the night. But I don't know, I must have been plugged in. Once I hit Luna and really got that second wind, and so I was able to drive home in the evening, not that you care. But Luna was as advertised. I found them years ago online, and so I follow their socials and kind of check in on that way. So I've always seen from afar they have a really interesting curation of used records and just an interesting vibe. They're in a college town. I think Butler University is not too far. So it's just been somewhere I wanted to go. And then obviously COVID happens. And I know that they were shut down their brick and mortar, their storefront for a while because of COVID. So anyway, long-winded way of saying, finally decided to just get on that motorcycle that's really a four-wheeled vehicle and drive up. It looks cooler if it's like a motorcycle, like Easy Rider, but no, I was in my car and went up to Indianapolis. But Luna was fantastic. Really well curated shop. Again, really love it when stores segment their used from their new. So again, if you're someone like me who really enjoys shopping used records mostly, you can spend most of your time, most of your focus, most of your energy looking at the used records as opposed to everything being intermingled. And nothing against stores that do that. I just find that like those stores really rate a lot higher for me personally, because then I can spend that focus in used. And then if I have some time left over, if I'm looking for a particular title, then I can go to the new. It's just so much cleaner for me. Yeah, bitch! All that said, Luna was a great experience. Went in. The store is really well kept. They had like cheapies on the outside. It was a nice day. So I walked up. Some guy was flipping through cheapies on the outside. You walk in, their new arrivals bin is literally right as soon as you hit the door, which I always like. So anytime I go to a new record store, that's usually where my head kind of goes, is where are the new arrivals, because that's the stuff they've just processed, that just came in, that maybe their regular clientele hasn't had an opportunity to sort through and dig through. So I hit those new arrivals. But Luna they've got so much stuff. They've got audio equipment, they've got new records, they've got used records, they got CDs, there's a lot going on. They have a collectibles section, which I really enjoy. Josie Records in Dallas does something similar, where they segment their more collectible titles. Luna had some really sick jazz records. They had like a early Lee Morgan that was about $200 that I really was going back and forth on. Anyway, the collectibles areas, I spent a lot of time there, but I really enjoyed shopping. I talked to one of the guys working there. It was super nice. I asked him if I could video this footage you're seeing here in this video. Super cool cat. As you can see behind me, I even got a tote bag because I don't know what the threshold is. I didn't ask. I bought several records and run up a nice bill, and they're like, "Oh, hey, you qualify for the free tote bag." So I thought that was a nice, generous effort to reciprocate my credit card purchase at the time. But anyway, let's get into the records. Let me show you what I got. All right, before you start laughing at me, I know Mr. Hall of Fame Brandon on his Instagram recently just had a Justin Bieber record. So if he can do it and he can be confident in his masculinity, I'm going to be confident in my masculinity and show you this New Kids on the Block first press of Hanging Tough.
Okay, we'll just...
I actually already have a beater copy of this. I got it at the record show a while ago for like $5. It's a rough one. But I don't think they've repressed this. And so the novelty of when I was coming up in elementary and even middle school, and these guys were like the biggest band on the planet for kids, right? For girls primarily. And some well-produced pop music. It's got the right stuff. I'll Be Loving You Forever. Of course, Hanging Tough, where they're just tough. I mean, these guys just scream tough. If you look at them, I mean, I don't even know where this, I'm assuming it's a Subway somewhere. I mean, they're from Boston. They're tough guys, tough kids, just running the mean streets, all in their Adidas. I mean, looking super tough. Anyway, when I saw this, I passed on it first. It was in a New Arrivals bin, but then I kind of later thought about it. It's like, the guy says a super clean copy. When am I going to see this again? I'm on, I wouldn't say vacation, but I'm away from town. Let's just go. I'm hanging tough. I'm one of the tough kids now. All right, so then I found this Franz Ferdinand record. This is, I believe, it's called You Could Have It So Much Better. I've never seen this in the wild. I know it's been pressed a couple times, so it wasn't like a novelty or a rare record. I haven't been able to match this barcode yet, so I'm gonna probably do some digging on it. But the key takeaway track for this one is Do You Want To? It's really catchy, kind of rock song. Very good price on this, and again, one of those things where I had a couple other Franz Ferdinand pieces in my collection, didn't have this one. Under $20. When in Rome, just gonna rip it, right? So had to add her to the collection. All right, believe it or not, I bought a new record on this expedition. This Chris Isaak Heart-Shaped World was just reissued on white vinyl recently. I actually have an OG of this, so I was hesitant to pull the trigger on it. But then watching other people's videos in the vinyl community, I noticed like it's pretty popular, one, and two, they said it sounded great. So, and then three, scarcity is taking effect. I know the in-group said they already sold out of theirs. Plaid Room has sold out of theirs. So all of those variables, the poo-poo platter of my decision tree when it comes to buying, I was like, you know what, I'm just going to pop on this. I'd already considered buying it from another shop that I know online. Hadn't bought it yet. Found it at Luna, so why not? I even talked to the clerk there, and he's like, yeah, it sounds great. So if anything, this will give me an opportunity to maybe do a shootout down the road where I can take my OG, which I bought for like $5 years ago in Columbia, Missouri, Hit Records, and compare it to what this one sounds like. So obviously a signature song of not just this album, but Chris Isaak's career, Heart-Shaped World. Wicked Game. Heart-Shaped World's the name of the album. Wicked Game, which is like in that sexy black and white video. Just great record, great song. I mean, if anything, just for that song, worth the purchase. But anyway, probably do a shootout. I'll let you know what I think. Echo Brain is a band that Jason Newsted used to be in Metallica. It was like a side project for him. He started his own record label called Chop House, and before he officially left Metallica, he put this record out as a side project. It's kind of one of the things that caused a lot of strife between Jason and James Hetfield. Like Lars was cool with Jason kind of stretching his musical muse in different directions. James was not. James at the time was very like, you're in Metallica, that's all you should be focused on is Metallica. Everything has to be signed off on by Metallica. And so that's a big reason there was a big rift between Jason and James at that time. But anyway, I've never seen this record in the wild. It's not very expensive. You look on Discogs, it's maybe a $30 record. But, again, the old Mike Wolf thing. We've never seen it before. That's the time to pop. So I figured, why not? Give it a shot. I know Jason did a couple other projects since he left Metallica. Like he did that Rockstar Supernova thing, that reality show. And then he even had a band called Newsted, which trying to find that record even has kind of become more challenging over the last 18 months. But Echo Brain, never saw it before. pull the trigger. And then probably the most interesting piece I picked up, and the priciest one, was this is a Jane's Addiction, Ritual de lo Habitual. This is like their signature album that came out, I think, 1990, if I'm not mistaken. Had the song Been Caught Stealing, if you remember that video of like the really weird cat just literally shoplifting and dancing with other people in the grocery store. But this album is interesting. I already have an original with the original, I guess, band artwork. I guess they ran into some censorship issues when this came out because the artwork is pretty controversial. So some record stores, I'm assuming more conservative record stores, were a little put off by it and didn't want to sell the record with that artwork and in essence banned it. So Perry Farrell and the guys came out with this really plain Jane cover. I guess the record label was also behind it. They're on Warner Brothers, as a way to sell the record in the stores and also appease these very conservative record store owners. They even have this quote. It says, "Hitler's syphilis-ridden dreams almost came true. How could it happen? By taking control of the media. An entire country was led by a lunatic. We must protect our First Amendment before sick dreams become law. Nobody made fun of Hitler, question mark." So, and then they have a quote, obviously, about, freedom of, I guess, Article 1 of the, I'm assuming the Bill of Rights is where they pulled this from. Anyway, I've never seen this before. I didn't even know this until I was at Luna, and I was like, what is this? Is this kind of is this a bootleg? Like, what's the story here? So, again, I talked to the clerk, and we had a nice conversation about this piece. But again, never seen it before. I'm on pseudo vacation. Let's just rip it. So those were my pickups at Luna. I had plans to check out a store called Indie CD and Vinyl. Luna actually closed first, so I planned I'd go to Luna, and then I bounced this Indie CD and Vinyl, and then see where the winds of travel took me. Well, I went there, and Indie CD and Vinyl had a nice sign on the door. They were supposed to close at 8, and they had a sign. This is about 6:07. I had just paid for parking. I'd walked up from the meter, and it said, "Sorry, folks, we've closed at 6 today. Sorry for any inconvenience." So, big fart sandwich. Took a big bite.
First you put it on here, then you press the lock it button. That's that, and then it'll fly up in just a second. See? And then, no!
So, that was Indianapolis. Guys, have you ever been to Indianapolis? Have you ever been to these record stores I'm talking about? If so, let me know in the comments. I appreciate you spending your time watching my incessant rambling and sharing my records and making it this far in the video. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate it when you like, you subscribe, you comment, all that good stuff. But tell me what you think about this series. Is this an interesting series? Are you learning anything? Is it entertaining? Is it worth your time? Let me know in the comments below. And until we meet again, buddies, I'm doing that QS intermezzo, that John Mellencamp. Buddies, thanks for watching. If you get the chance, just spin it. Catch you later.
Well, well, well. How the turntables...
Well, we out of time.